It really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, it's these debates, and it's not just in South Carolina. People were watching that all over the country, because Florida already switched 30 points into Newt's category before the results of the South Carolina election came in, which means it was based on the debates. So Newt doesn't even need all this money and the advertising. Newt doesn't need to go walk around and have an establishment underneath him doing all the footwork, right? Because Ron Paul, all the Paul people, he has all this underneath ground grassroots. But what's it getting him? 8%? He's got 3 delegates, right? He's a nothing, right? Romney has all the money and all the advertisements. He's not. Who's winning the delegate race? Newt, right? Why? Because he's winning debates. So what do we learn from this? Republicans are more swayed by live, impromptu debates than anything else. Newt is born for that. He was born on a stage. You ask him any gotcha question, he's going to come right back and win this debate. That's his blood. And he has as long as they keep debating, he has a very good chance of winning the whole damn thing. Now, the farther we go down in this, the more you're going to see the Ann Coulters and the Chris Christies embarrassing themselves and the Republican Party and hurting their chances of that party of winning in the fall. Because they're coming out of the woodwork now, and they're all criticizing Newt and trying to trash him because he's a threat to the status quo. Okay? So, and I'm already learning, I don't like Chris Christie. I've already learned that this last week. I had a crush on Ann Coulter for years, but that completely died tonight. As they come out against Newt Gingrich, I am done with them. And I'm not even a Republican. I'm an independent. And these people are just turning themselves off from me. And I think this is going to make Gingrich stronger. I really think he's going to win now. I really think. What do you think?
I think... Well, it was that Romney was an 80% favorite by most of the pundits said that, Romney's, his odds of winning are going to be 4 out of 5 in the Republican nomination.
Right.
But, it's shifting the momentum certainly in Newt's favor. And I think certainly one thing he's doing is Newt has tapped into the conservative emotion, the conservative ethos. The conservatives are angry at this president, and Newt has tapped into that. And Romney doesn't move anyone when he speaks. No one gets excited and moved. But
because
when Newt
it's all
speaks,
about him. It's all about him.
I'm really skeptical of Newt, but when Newt speaks, I get excited about him. So it would certainly be the most interesting presidential campaign of my life if Newt Gingrich ran with the Republican nomination.
Right. Listen, in South Carolina, there were 2 significant... I see what the chat room is, so this is directed at them. Mm-hmm. There were 2 significant statistics that came out from the exit polls. Did you see them? Newt won 44% of the evangelical vote. Mm-hmm. He was the highest of all the evangelicals won for him more than they won for anybody else. Yeah. He got the lion's share of the evangelicals, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, anybody who says, Christians aren't into him, he's no Christian himself. Let's understand something. People aren't choosing Jesus. Right? Nobody looks to the President of the United States as a role model for religion.
Yeah, hope for their kids.
I've seen some of the craziest things that people have said and posted on the internet in the last few days, saying, "Look who the social conservatives are putting as their poster boy, as the face of social conservative." No, you're wrong about that. They're putting not a guy because we're impressed with his own personal life. We're not. We're putting him in the front because he can articulate our position better than we can.
Yeah.
He's a speaker. He's got the fire, and he can articulate and stand up for our positions. We don't care how many women he's banging. I'm sure right now he's getting a blowjob in the front seat of his car from some hooker. Right. And I have no problem with it because I'm not voting for him for the Messiah. Right? Newt Gingrich is not the Messiah. But he is the person who can articulate our position as religious people, or whatever you want to call us, right, in America.
Yeah.
I don't care about his personal life. Let's not make it an issue because it's irrelevant. Nobody has said that Newt is the pillar of religiosity. If you think that, then you're nuts, right? But I heard this woman say this. This was brilliant. Okay, they interviewed a woman, who voted for Newton. She's evangelical.
Right.
They said, "How could you vote for him?" And she said, "Look, if I'm trying to find somebody who's devout and has a perfect, there's slim pickings at this point.
Yeah.
There's nobody out there, who's got who's perfect.
Yeah.
That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who can articulate our position." Now, the other thing I wanted to say was, the other thing he scored very highly with was married women. He scored higher with married women than any of the other candidates did. Ron Paul has been married to the same woman for like 400 years, right?
Yeah.
Santorum is like Mr. Social Values, and he's a big Catholic, right? Right. Who got the most points with married women was Newt Gingrich. So the whole idea of bringing on his ex-wife and making her like front and center, right?
Yeah.
That didn't push away women. Don't have a problem with that, right? The fact that he's probably right now got 3 women in the front seat of his car getting a blowjob, because like everybody wants to give a blowjob to the front runner, right? Doesn't bother married women.
Yeah.
They don't care about that. I heard someone say this tonight on Fox News. I can't remember who said it. Okay? But one of the pundits said this.
Yeah.
They said, women find it repugnant what Newt's social, what do we call private life is like.
Yeah.
But what people don't understand is women find other things more repugnant than that. Because they can grow to accept the fact that men of power are going to be sleazebags.
Yeah.
That's normal, right?
Yeah.
But what women have a harder time with and find more repugnant is the way that the left-wing liberal media depicts religious people and conservatives and tries to minimize us and marginalize us and make us look out like we're fools, right? And doesn't give us the time of day. Women find that more repugnant, and that is how they voted. They voted for Newt because he's the guy who's now the avenger against liberals. Against
the news media.
Against the news media. And by proxy, Obama.
Yeah.
Because we know he's going after the media now. He's going to be going after Obama in the debates.
Yeah.
And he said that he wants 7 3-hour debates.
He would be so entertaining.
Oh my God. Yes.
I just love to watch the campaign. Like if Obama refuses a debate, Gingrich is just going to follow him from city to city. He'd get huge crowds. Gingrich would get huge crowds.
Right.
People would turn out to hear Gingrich because he's so entertaining. Like he speaks with fire in his belly. Like he's got passion, he's got charisma, he's a smart guy, and he knows how to speak.
Right.
So it reminds me of Dennis Prager back on his show November 26, 1999, talked about this People magazine article on the second Mrs. Gingrich, how she'd lost a lot of pounds since the separation and divorce from Newt. So Dennis was talking about women who slimmed down and look great after a separation. He used the second Mrs. Gingrich as an example. She's lost 35 pounds since splitting from Newt. Okay. She's changed her hair and she looks much better. And Dennis wondered if many of these divorces could have been prevented. The women had slimmed down and toned up while married. Now this drew an angry reaction from several female callers. Dennis said it is important for married people to try to stay attractive to their spouses. So that means for men to work hard, make money, and move ahead in the world, and for women to maintain a pleasing appearance. So, ladies, just think about that.
I actually agreed with your commenter.
Whatever the truth in this comment, how does it help attract women to your Alexander practice?
And the thumb up is me, by the way. Okay, hey, when you're done on that, can I comment on that?
Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Okay, you ready? Here's my thing I wanted to say on this. And you don't say a word, because I don't want you to get in trouble, because I may make this a highlight clip, and I don't want it to hurt your business.
Okay.
So see if you can be Shomer M. Soy and moderate your mouth, okay? Try to look engaged, so that it's interesting, but try not to say anything that's going to get you in trouble. You can chime in as long as you can control your mouth. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Yeah.
I have heard way too many times the following. Women who have been divorced will say that now that they're divorced, They want to start taking care of themselves.